How does that work?
Hey, Trevor.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me, Trevor?
Yes, I can. Awesome.
All right.
Yeah, it's like every few minutes there's another interesting. How come the video's not updating? Interesting. Oh, is that you sharing the screen or is that me?
That is you.
That is me. Okay, that's weird because oh, you know what? I may switch to full screen maybe. Yeah. Replace screen sharing. Do the window.
Hey, let me share to see if, because you wanted me to demo it, and
Oh
so I'm
yeah,
on a
that's a good
Mac,
idea.
but I run this through Parallels, and so I just want to make sure it works. Do you want me to give it a shot?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. Entire screen. All right. Can you see my screen so far, or?
I think it's mine.
Oh, I
Let's see
think you
here.
have to select my screen.
Stop sharing. Okay, let me stop. Okay, so your video. Try sharing your full screen again.
It should be shared. So on the left, I've never used Restream, but on the left, I see my screen, but it's grayed out.
Okay, hold on. Let me.
There it is.
There, is that it?
Yeah. Now I'm not gonna see you right. Oh, actually, let's see if this works. Let me. All right. Can you see that?
Yes.
It's like a recipe site and stuff.
Yep.
Okay. Cool. All right. It works. Good. So now I think if you, I guess I'll just stop sharing, and then when I share again, you just select that screen.
Okay. Yeah, I've only been doing this like a month now, and every single stream has been a learning lesson. Like the first one, I was on Wi-Fi. I went to go do a demo, and it killed my bandwidth. So like it messed up the whole meeting like halfway into it.
Got it.
We'll see how many people show up. A lot of people watch the recording afterwards, and we're a little bit earlier than normal too.
Okay.
Do you do a lot of these?
I did when I first got started, and I haven't done any recently. I'm building another brand, and so I only do all of this part time, so I only have so much time in the day, and the wife, kids, all that stuff. So summers are insanely busy for us.
Yeah. Hopefully, you don't hear my kids stomping around upstairs. I asked my wife to keep them from stomping.
Well, my wife decided to have a dinner party over here, and I'm like, I had this planned for 2 weeks. Most of
Oh
the
man.
people don't come to 5:30, so but I don't have to head out. I just told everybody just keep it down.
Yeah. Well, they tend to these tend to go pretty fast. We'll see. We'll see. Well, actually, the a couple of them went over, but I tend to talk really fast. I gotta like tune the number of slides to present. But I have like an assistant. I asked her to hop on, but I was getting like really bad background noise. I don't know
Gotcha.
what the deal was. Yeah, we got at least one. They'll get their notices on their phones any second.
We're not live yet, right?
I don't know. It says live.
All right. Is there a chat thing you can see, like the people chatting or something?
Yeah, on the right-hand side, there's like a bar that goes down the side. If you click on chat, it'll slide open the chat from people that are online on YouTube and whatnot. And we can display it on the screen too, if you want, depending on how much, screen one. Do you see the controls for it? I can display it on the screen too.
All right. I guess I could just go to YouTube and see. Maybe we're live right now, right?
Yeah, right. Why not? Well, all right, let's go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and kick it off. Hey, everybody. Welcome to this week's Vibe Code Circle session. Today, we have a guest. That's Matt Zimmerman, who is the creator of ZimmWriter, one of the most popular and efficient SEO content writing tools. And with that introduction, I'll go ahead and hand it over to Matt.
Well, hey, Trevor, thanks for having me on. I really appreciate it. It's great to like I mentioned before the show, or maybe we were live. I don't know. I haven't done one of these in a while, but it's good to kind of be back sharing kind of like what I've created and how it can help folks.
Awesome. So like, how did you get into both AI and using SEO?
My father's side of the family, they're all entrepreneurs. And I thought, I guess I have that in my blood. And so I've always wanted to create something. And, I can't create a baby. My wife can create a baby, but I can't create a baby. So I'm like, I want to create something from scratch. How do I do that? And, so I got into affiliate marketing. Then I'm like, well, why am I not ranking? And I learned about SEO. And as I'm, doing affiliate marketing, AI kind of came on the scene. I got started in Phrase, which was it was an open source at the time AI model, very, very difficult to use. You had to use few shot prompting. You couldn't it was not nearly as powerful as GPT, ChatGPT. And, I started playing with it more and I thought, well, can we just have AI write blog posts? Because no software at the time was writing blog posts. So I started fiddling around, and I have a programming background in some languages, and I was able to kind of package something together. And it's kind of grown over the years into one of the most formidable AI writers in the world.
So did you notice, and I think this probably is still the case now, like there's a lot of tools out there, but most of them are kind of doing like the low-lying fruit, like sort of the same, like, 80% of features are the same. How did you identify like what things are really going to be unique features that users are going to find value in?
So I guess I go about it differently because I'm not a software developer by trade. A lot of software developers, and there's nothing wrong with this. I'm not dissing other software developers, but I'll see a lot of software developers, especially people like on AppSumo, and they'll just build features based on what people want. But it's so much easier if you are experienced in that field. So I have had a lot of experience in SEO, and I know what I wanted. So I just kind of built what I wanted, and I listened to people, and I would take their advice and stuff like that. But I kind of built a tool for myself. So I knew that I wanted bulk blog posts. I knew that I wanted, keyword injection. I knew, all these different things that I wanted. And so I just kind of over time built them into the software. And fortunately for me, what I wanted was what other people wanted too. It's completely different if you go out and you start building something, you don't really understand the market and you're not a user yourself. I'm a heavy user of ZimmWriter. So I have my lifetime license to ZimmWriter, so I'm happy for that.
But like if somebody was just like hearing about ZimmWriter for the first time, like what would be the elevator pitch, and like what kind of content is it best at creating?
So, like I guess the elevator pitch for ZimmWriter is it's AI writing software that's designed for writing bulk content at cost. And when I say at cost, you bring your own API keys. So, maybe you generate 5 articles a month. All right. And if you're using a very inexpensive model, those 5 articles could cost you $0.05 total, $0.01 for those 5 articles. And then you just pay me the subscription fee, which is $25 a month. Or, maybe you're a heavy user. I got a guy that has 13 ZimmWriter licenses and they're running 24/7. And I think he did 30,000 articles last month. and I still get $25, per license. All right. But he's paying for his own AI usage. Now he's using very inexpensive models. So each article is less than a penny, like a fraction of a penny. But you can use more expensive models too, if you want to. So it's a bulk writer that writes as much or as little as you want. There's no limits whatsoever on how much you can write. And that's just one of the main features. I think, there's like three main features. It's bulk writing. And then it's also, if you have a Windows computer, it's writing with AI anywhere, whether it's on your desktop, whether it's on a web page. AI becomes available anywhere. It goes beyond what Microsoft Copilot has, because Copilot's just like ChatGPT on your desktop. ZimmWriter is AI anywhere on your desktop or on any website. You can even use it inside of Facebook. Right inside of Facebook, you can use AI with ZimmWriter. And then the third pillar of ZimmWriter is bulk AI images. The past couple of days, I've generated about 5,000 headshots. I'm working on a headshot course, and ZimmWriter will do headshots. And so I was, doing bulk generation with that. So there's a lot of amazing things you can do with image generation inside of ZimmWriter too. So it's not just ZimmWriter's not just bulk writing. It's a lot of other things too.
What's like a typical workflow look like from I guess idea through publication?
If you understand how to use ZimmWriter, then the goal is to kind of set up your job. So like, let's say you're an agency and you have a couple different clients. So you'll kind of dial in the settings for what that particular client wants. Maybe they want 5 blog posts a week. Maybe they just want, they just have one single order for 100 blog posts. Whatever their settings, and then, whatever the tone is and the style is, and you dial all that in, you save it to a profile. All right. So maybe you have 5 clients. You can load all of those profiles up in just one bulk job on a Monday morning and have ZimmWriter, spit out all the content, and you're basically done. So as long as you have the titles and you've configured all your different profiles, all your different settings, you can just instantly load those profiles in one big bulk job and press go, and you're done. So, if you're trying to make money with content generation, ZimmWriter makes it very, very easy to do. But if you're just spinning up sites, and I have the guy with the 12 licenses, or I think he's at 17 licenses now, actually, he won't even use Ahrefs or SEMrush. He'll use ChatGPT version 5. I think he pays the $200 a month, and he'll do some deep research to come up with the niche and all of the different articles and stuff like that. He just feeds that into ZimmWriter, and he'll pump out a site a night. I think he's up to like 350 sites now or something like that. And he's just spinning up these sites, very, very low cost AI images and low cost text LLM models.
Awesome, man. That's a lot. And I guess like he specialized, those are his own sites, or he's doing it for customers?
All his own. He started all his sites are ZimmWriter sites, and he's ramping up. What he's found is about, and I can't share too much, but about 33% of his sites will hit, bring traffic in and then bring in revenue. The other, other 66%, they just, for whatever reason, nothing happens with them. Google, it's tricky now with AI if you're trying to rank, and he's not aiming for ranking on Google. Most of his traffic's coming from Bing, but the best approach with AI, if you're simply a solopreneur and you're doing affiliate marketing, is to just spin up lots of sites as fast as you can and just pump the content out and go on to the next site. And 1 out of 3, if you're doing it well, will turn out profit or turn out really well. If you're doing, if you're an agency or you're doing something else, then you're gonna have a different approach.
Is there a particular platform you see people using more than other, like WordPress or something, or what's the more popular platforms they publish this to?
So ZimmWriter only publishes it to WordPress. It's built all around WordPress, and I've really gone heavy with the integration into WordPress. There's scheduling, there's tagging, there's all kinds of features built around WordPress, because honestly, in my opinion, WordPress is free, and you can spin up, you go get yourself a Cloudways or a Hostinger host, and you can put 100 or 200 sites on that one server. And it's just the lowest cost of getting the job done, in my opinion. Now, ZimmWriter does have webhooks, so you can send the stuff out to like other platforms. Like I think some people were using ClickFunnels with it, sending the data from ZimmWriter to ClickFunnels, sending it to Go High Level. So there are webhooks that you can send the data out to different platforms, but the core platform integrated into ZimmWriter natively is WordPress.
Awesome. Well, you want to walk us through it? show us how it works?
Yeah, let me show you. Share my screen right now. All right. All right. Can you? Oh,
Whoa,
we got an
recording.
Infinity.
Well,
Let's.
why is it doing that? All right. Try to unshare and reshare. I'll try to.
All right. Yeah, I think that's your screen right now. We'll try this
Okay.
again.
Said add to scene. Okay, go ahead and share it.
Let's share this.
There we go. Aha.
Awesome.
You want me to take the chats? You're not getting too many questions. I'm going to take the chat off the screen.
Okay. Yeah, just get a bigger picture. All right. So I can kind of let me walk you through. I think let me show you the end result first. I think the end result makes kind of seeing what ZimmWriter can do, really powerful. So these are three. I made 3 courses. The courses are completely free. They're multi-hour courses. This particular course where I built all the courses, I built these sites over the shoulder. Okay. So this course right here was 10 hours. I walk you through keyword research, niche selection, domain selection, everything. And every course has a different like spin on it. So for this one, we're actually pulling real recipes. I show you how to find this database with, I think about 2.5 million recipes, actual recipes people have used, and we'll feed those recipes into ZimmWriter, and it will actually write based on those recipes, these real ingredients. And so this is a site that I just built a couple of months ago. And like, here's an example of the types of articles it writes. So here's one of the AI images. And what's cool is ZimmWriter, unlike other AI writers, ZimmWriter actually will create the image based on the ingredients if you set it up right. Okay, a lot of AI writers will just create an image that maybe doesn't represent the actual ingredients. So we have the ingredients from the actual recipe itself, and ZimmWriter kind of tells you how to go about making this. So it's very powerful, and it injects some high ticket like Amazon products in here. So there's this smoker grill barbecue Amazon product in here that it will link to, or I guess it links to the category pages. So it's really easy when somebody's making like these recipes to say, oh yeah, I need to upgrade my my smoker grill. Let me just click the link. So that's the first site I've made publicly in this course, or in my course. Another course I had is a home decor course where I built this home decor site from scratch. Same kind of thing. We have these articles here. Now this is a little bit different. We have these different design ideas, and we're pushing all this out to Pinterest. So I have like 2 years of Pinterest content all queued up based on these images right here. And these are all on drip feed. So I have 2 years of drip feed content. The stuff's publishing to WordPress. It's going out to my Facebook pages, and then it's going out to Pinterest also. And I don't have to lift a finger. And inside here, we'll have affiliate links, and then also internal linking to other stuff. Like here's an affiliate link to this category page with like repurposed materials for room upgrades. So that's the other site that we've built. And then I have this site right here, Crypto Diamond Hands, another example of what ZimmWriter can do. There's a course on it completely free. So this is kind of cool, where ZimmWriter's building these articles based on real-time factual data. So, maybe this ZimmWriter, I show you in the course how to aggregate all these different news articles and then spin the titles and then feed it into ZimmWriter. ZimmWriter will contact like Perplexity, or it will use Perplexity's online model to do the research for this and get as accurate as possible information. So it's not just making up facts, making up data. It's not hallucinating. And it will even cite to those sources, like this is citing to Economic Times from India. So it cites the sources where it got the information. And this is great for building news sites. So I show you how to do all this stuff. So ZimmWriter is very, very powerful. Not only can it kind of do these things, it can also do product roundups, the stereotypical, product roundups with, a product box. Now, these product boxes, what's cool with ZimmWriter is it will integrate with both AFFI.ai and AAWP, which are both short code like programs that work based on short codes, and they'll build these kind of cool looking product boxes. And so you can set ZimmWriter to do that also. This is all done automatically. You can queue up, a couple hundred different product roundup articles, and ZimmWriter will just go ahead and write all this stuff. You don't have to really do anything. And then you can also, really get complex with how you structure your article. Inside of here, this is like 25 maxi dress wedding guest outfit ideas for women. So it's not a product roundup, but underneath each subheading, we have this, it's a short code that's triggering an AFFI plugin to display relevant content to this particular subheading. So it's not a typical product roundup in the sense that you would think of pros and cons and like, let's review this particular product. It's more, here's an idea for maybe what you could wear for this wedding dress. And then here's some relevant products to that. All right. So these are the types of articles you can make. And this is just kind of scratching the surface. I can show you. I
saw a ZimmWriter ad scroll by there too.
Yes. So that's a plugin I have going on. So just a cool little injection plugin that you can make your own ads or do Facebook ad or not Facebook, Google ads or whatever. So it makes it really easy. So this is the ZimmWriter interface. So this is the one thing that a lot of people are like, well, I don't like the interface. And I'm like, at the end of the day, if you rank and you make money, does the interface really matter? So this is the interface, and the heart of what ZimmWriter does kind of lies in this bulk writer right here. And when you open it up, there's like a bazillion different options inside of here. But I'll kind of walk you through them. So you come in here, you put your titles in. You can put up to 1,000 titles if you want to. And you can set the number of H2s, or you can just have the AI define, the number. You can say, I don't want you to do more than 10 or more than, 30 or more than 50 if you want to.
What's the significance of H2? I see that when they talk about SEO a lot, like the count of H2s and H3s and stuff.
Yeah. So you're in the context of HTML, you have an H1. This is like the H1. This is like the title of the article. And H2 are going to be your subheadings, like your sections of the article. So this is an H2. This is a section. This is a section. Now, sometimes you'll have H3s, which will be sections within a section. All right. I typically don't do that. I'll just typically have my H1s and my H2s. But ZimmWriter allows you to, to limit the number of H2s if you're setting this to like kind of automatic. Okay. You can set the length for the content within each H2 section. All right. You want a lot of content, or you want a little bit of content. Okay. You can set the voice. All right. Some articles are better written in second person. Some are better written in first person. Some are better written without the personal pronouns and like a professional style of writing. If you're writing a journal, like a medical type of article or something like that, then maybe you want to choose professional. There's literary devices, which are, when you check these boxes, it will enable them. So this is like metaphors, similes, onomatopoeias, things that can kind of spice up your writing. Although, again, a lot of people will come in here and they'll just check every box. And it's like, no, you don't want to do that. You want to figure out who's your audience. Who are you writing for? Maybe you're like, again, you're an agency, you're writing for a client that's a dentist. All right. And he wants blog posts. Well, maybe you don't want these metaphors and similes in those articles. You want more of a professional vibe. So you wouldn't check this box, okay? So a lot of ZimmWriter is testing things out, testing out the settings to kind of dial in what you want. And what's great is because you're paying for your own usage and there's no limits, you can do 1,000 tests if you want to. If you're testing on an inexpensive model like GPT-4o Mini, your tests will be like a penny each, right? So you can really dial in exactly what you want and get a lot higher quality because it's so customizable compared to other AI writers. You can do lists, which it will randomly insert lists, tables. There's block quotes if you want some block quotes inserted. Maybe you have a list of AI words you don't like, all right? Delve, dive, and all that stuff. You can specify them elsewhere in the ZimmWriter settings and then check this box, and ZimmWriter will try to nuke those words. But realize when you nuke a word, the AI might replace that AI word with another AI word. So it can be a cycle, all right? But you can nuke those words if you want to. We can do bolding. We can have a key takeaway section if we want to. We can enable random insertion of H3s or H1s, H2s. These are H3s. By default, ZimmWriter is going to try to not write really chunky paragraphs. Maybe you want something that's more digestible, especially on mobile devices, like maybe 2 or 3 sentences per paragraph. So by default, ZimmWriter is going to use something called skinny paragraph, like a prompt to create skinny paragraphs. If you don't like that, you can turn it off. All right. And then by default, it's going to write with the active voice and it's going to have a conclusion, but you can disable these also if you want to. You can have a standard intro or a search intent intro. And I think the search intent intro is really important in today's age where people are just like, scrolling and swiping really, really fast. They want to consume the content as quickly as possible. The search intent intro is basically going to summarize, it's going to write the entire article, summarize the entire article, and then put that summary as an intro. And so the reader kind of gets exactly what they want to begin with. And, even if they bounce from your site, as long as they're not pogo sticking onto another site, the search engines should be happy because the reader found the answer that they were looking for, whether, regardless of whether they found it quickly or not. You can have an FAQ, you can specify an audience personality, and that's more of a complex topic. There's like a bazillion different writing models you can choose from, but rule of thumb is if I want cheap, I'll use 4.0 Mini. If I want very high quality, I'll use Claude Sonnet, like one of the 3.5, 3.7, or 4 for higher quality. You can write in the style of somebody else, or you can have the AI come up with its own writing style. So you can put in a lot of different diverse articles in here, and it will, figure out, what style each of those needs to be written in. You can do automatic keyword.
On the subject of models, did you have an opinion of the 5.0 Mini?
Yes. So 5.0, all of the 5 models, first of all, they're all reasoning models. And OpenAI has done a very poor job of explaining their models. Because you would think, okay, 4.0, all right, 4.0 is not as good as 4.1, you would think. Well, 4.1 is a completely different model. 4.1 is a reasoning model, right? And you would think that maybe GPT-5 would be better than 4.0, but GPT-5 is a reasoning model also. And it's the quality, people, this is all over the forums, the quality of the pros, like they have all these benchmarks to rate these and rank these models, but they're all like math benchmarks and problem-solving benchmarks. There's no benchmark for how does it actually read? Does it read, well? And there's no benchmark for that. OpenAI and all these AI providers don't have that. GPT-5 basically sucks in terms of writing prose, writing well. All right, Claude Sonnet 4 or 3 points. The 3 models and the 4 models for Sonnet from Claude for Anthropic are incredible at writing prose. GPT-4 Mini is actually pretty decent. It's a weaker model, but it's also a lot less expensive than Sonnet. So my 2 go-to models for writing content are, if I want cheap, I'll use 4.0 Mini. If I want the highest quality possible, I'll use Claude Sonnet. And there's no other solution. Now, the reason I have 5 in here is because people will say, hey, when are you going to add 5? So I add 5, and then people are like, well, why doesn't 5 sound good? Because it's not a good model. So you can select your models. You can also select your models for your images. There's a featured image model that you can select. There's all kinds of different models in here. And then you can select a different or the same subheading image models if you want to. And then when you select the model, there's all kinds of different options you can configure inside of this option. You can do your aspect ratio and all that stuff. And then you can actually, and this is extremely powerful, you can create your own prompts. So you can have a specific prompt for your subheading image models and a different prompt for your featured image models. Or you can just use the built-in one by ZimmWriter. ZimmWriter, it's incredibly customizable in that respect. And that's just setting up the actual.
BYOK, or I'll bring your own key. They've got to set that up in the settings to use.
Yeah, everything. Yeah, everything's bring your own key. If you're just getting started, what I recommend is sign up for an Open Router account. It's OR. Open Router is cool because it has most of the writing models. It has Sonnet, it has OpenAI's, all the GPTs, and it has Perplexity's models. And what's great is you're not rate limited when you first sign up. You sign up for OpenAI, and they put you on a rate limit. So sign up for Open Router, put a couple bucks on your account. It's pay as you go, and that's great. That will do everything you need. And then for image models, what I recommend is just getting a Runware account. It's all these RW models right here. And Runware is by far the least expensive image provider. In general, their open source models are so inexpensive and they're so high quality. Like FluxDev, for instance, is a fifth of a penny. It's I don't know if you can see this, 0.0026. That's the cost. So that's a fifth of a penny, whereas FluxDev at another provider is 3 pennies, right? So I've been doing 5,000 headshots over the past couple of days, and I haven't even spent $30. It's crazy how inexpensive this stuff is. So get Runware, get Open Router, and that's basically all you need. All right. There's one more thing you can get. It's called ScrapeOwl. It's a ScrapeOwl subscription, and that will enable SERP scraping, Amazon scraping, and something else I forget. But if if you don't need that kind of stuff, if you're not doing Amazon and you're not really interested in SERP scraping, you don't really need that.
It's only like $5. You got some kind of $5 a month plan set up for that, right? For ZimmWriter.
Yeah.
Customers?
If you go into the options menu in ZimmWriter, then you click the link, it will give you this free trial. Then when the free trial is over, it will unlock the $5 plan, and that gives you like 10,000 credits. I forget how many scrapes that's good for, but it's good for a lot, and that's more than what most people need. So now that's just like the customization of that's just the basic options right there. You can set up WordPress if you want to. You can add up to 1,000 WordPress sites, and you can do drip feeding. You want to do I wanted 6 posts each week starting, and you can even backdate if you want to, starting in 2006. All right. So you can backdate, you can post date, you can schedule stuff. Very powerful. And then you can also, if you want it to go to a specific category, you can have it auto assign the category. Right. So maybe you have like 50 different categories and you don't want to designate where each one goes. You can just set it up to auto designate which category it goes to itself. There's link packs.
Does it generate the what do you call that, the taxonomies or whatever in WordPress for you?
So it won't generate the category. Well, I guess ZimmWriter can generate the categories. If you designate the category, if you say like how to wash a dog and you put in category equals dogs, it will make that category for you. Okay. But like it won't just automatically come up with that if you specify it. If you already have these categories created on WordPress, ZimmWriter will then look at those and then put the content into the appropriate category. So that's WordPress. And then you can do link packs. And the link packs is a lot of people don't understand the power of this. This is much more than just internal linking. You can create all kinds of link packs for your, let me just show you. Go to this link toolbox and you can create link packs for anything. So I have a link pack for this self-defense site I have, right? All these different self-defense products. So I created this pack, I called it Planet Self-Defense. I can go over here and write an article about how my daughter just went to college. I just took her to college last week. So how to protect yourself at college while running. Okay. So I can go over to my link pack and I can say, I want to load the Planet Self-Defense. And so as it's writing this article, I can say, okay, for each subheading, I want, two links to be inserted. So it's going to look at my link pack for this Planet Self-Defense site, completely different site. And then as it's writing it, it's going to inject those links, and it's going to inject them naturally too. Right? That's much more powerful than just internal linking. So you can have a whole PBN, so to speak, of different sites, and then just inject. I don't know what it stands for. Private bot network, I think that's what it is. So a lot of people will create just hundreds and hundreds of sites and kind of link them all together. So you can do that with this if you want to, or you can do what I did on that home decor site and link out or the recipe site, for instance. I have a list of like 800 different Amazon links to different Amazon categories, and as ZimmWriter is writing the articles, it will inject and they're all for like high ticket kitchen stuff. It will inject those links where it's relevant. So if we're talking about cooking this Korean barbecue stuff, it will inject that link to that's smoker grill or something like that. So link packs make link injection extremely powerful, and those are things you create. You can also enable deep research, and deep research is kind of like what we did on that crypto site, where we'll pull that factual information, and then this is another way to get links in your article, links out to authority sites. So these would not be sites you control. You don't know what links you're getting from here. All right, maybe if you're writing about crypto, maybe you're getting something from Forbes or something like that, And so these are not affiliate links that you're creating. These are just links to authority sites. Google likes to see that when it's looking at your content. When you're talking about crypto, are you actually linking out to authorities on this topic? That's where you can use deep research. And then you can not only do you get links, you can pull in that factual information. So that's deep research that will also generate links. There's SERP scraping you can use, although some people don't use this anymore. They use deep research, although deep research is more expensive than SERP scraping. So it's, what do you want to use? Style mimics are incredible. Style mimics allow you to take someone else's content, paste it in this box right here, and then create a mimic from it. So I'm not sharing where I took this mimic from, or I generated this mimic from, but I took someone's content, I put it in here, and I analyzed it using a powerful model. And this is what we got: like, write in a style that is casual and conversational with occasional blunt statements, use high school level vocabulary, et cetera, et cetera. So when ZimmWriter writes the content, if I've loaded this mimic, all right, it will write in that particular style, which is kind of like a snarky kind of tone. I had a good example. I don't have it pulled up, but it was talking about like building a survival kit or an emergency kit for your car. And it's saying, one thing you need to include is duct tape. And it's like, duct tape's not just good for kidnappers, it's also good for survival. Like, it wrote that in the article. I was like, this is great. It makes the article a fun read. It doesn't just sound like AI. It sounds like something I'd want to read. So that's style mimics right there. And then custom prompts. These are, I can't even describe how powerful these custom outlines are. Custom outlines allow you to build a programmatic outline. I wish I had here's an example of something that's just crazy powerful. So there's this local site, for instance, and local sites will often have pages for their locations and services. All right, so you can programmatically write 100 articles for, one article for a given location. Toledo, Ohio, assuming this is like a renovation. So Toledo, Ohio, bathroom renovation. Toledo, Ohio, kitchen renovation. Toledo, Ohio, roof restoration. Akron, Ohio, bathroom renovation. So it's really easy once you dial all this in. It takes some time to kind of set this up, but once you set this up, you can queue up the 100 or 200 articles and press go, and ZimmWriter will just write all that, and you'll get these really bespoke articles for that location plus service. And that this isn't just for local. You can do all kinds of stuff with custom outlines. People are coming up with all kinds of cool ways to use custom outlines inside of ZimmWriter. So, but that's more of an optional thing. Sometimes you need it, sometimes you don't. You can do custom prompts. You want to apply like a custom prompt to the meta description, or maybe the conclusion. Like, maybe you want a call to action in the conclusion. You're like, we're so and so company. Talk about us in the conclusion. So you'd create your, man, I got so many different things in here. I don't know if I have a call to action, but you'd create your custom prompt, and then you'd load it for like the conclusion, for instance. You can do that if you want to. There's webhooks. We talked about that, where you can send the content somewhere else. And there's also alt images, although this is more of an advanced topic. It allows kind of hidden images on your site that the visitor won't see, but when you click it and you share it to Pinterest, Pinterest will pull that alternative image. On Pinterest, maybe you want a different Pinterest style image than you want actually on your site. Maybe you want text on the image, which is not something for a recipe site, for instance, you'd want on the site itself. You just want the image of the food. So you can do that. And that's just the bulk writer. There's so much more inside of ZimmWriter. There's all kinds of other features, and there's an AI vault with, a bulk image generator, a niche generator, a topical authority generator, text discombobulator, all kinds of features. We could probably talk 10 hours about this, but I'm not going to do that.
But what would you say, like the spectrum, like this is like, you can literally be like day one wanting to write content, and you can figure it out in a short period of time. And then as your experience grows, you learn, and the tool you can expand with it, and keep doing more and more advanced content.
Yeah. So ZimmWriter, it's easy to get overwhelmed. You can come in here and be like, oh my gosh, like what do I do? There's just so much to do in here. Honestly, you can just come in here and put a title in. You put a title in like, fun facts about the sun. All right. And let's just, for the sake of this video, we'll just make this, let's just say 5 subheadings. We'll just go real simple. And we'll just do something really simple. We'll do like bold to help readability, and disable the conclusion, and search intent intro, no FAQ, and we'll press start. Like, it's really, really easy to just do something simple. And then you go and you look at your article, and you think, okay, do I like it? All right. Do I need, based on whatever niche I'm in, do I need more research for it? Do I need images for it? Like, what else do I need? So start really simple, and then you can dial it up. Now, if you ever get stuck, we have a group with almost a Facebook group, private group. So there's no spam in there, and you just apply to join, you answer the questions, we'll let you in, and you can ask whatever questions you have about ZimmWriter. Hey, I'm stuck doing this. And someone will just hop on there in a few minutes and help you with kind of whatever you're struggling with. So we don't leave you high and dry. you can always find somebody to help answer whatever question you have with ZimmWriter. Let's wait for this to finish and I'll show you. But what else you got? What else can I answer?
Yeah. All right. Here, let me look through your. All right. We did workflow. What's some of the stranger use cases you've seen for this? I mean, like, what's like something that maybe even surprised you?
I don't know if there's been any. A lot of people hold their cards close to the vest, so people will be doing a lot of like weird stuff in terms of pumping content and how what they're using the content for. All right. The article's done. Let me just show you it real quick. We didn't do any images or something. I'll answer the rest of your question in just a second. But here's just a simple article. We have that search intent intro, and it doesn't look like much. This is just HTML. It's not uploaded to a WordPress site, just HTML. And if you want to look at the markdown, this is the markdown for the content. And this cost us 0.003. So this was a third of a penny. That's how much this cost. All right. Again, ZimmWriter's unlimited, write as much as you want. But yeah, and you have bolding. Did you know that the sun is so massive that over 1 million Earths could fit inside? It generates, enough energy every second to power our planet for over 50,000 years. The sun's atmosphere is 3 layers. So yeah, you can, start really small, start really simple, and then kind of dial it up based on your needs. So in terms of
generation, does it automatically format the little image boxes and stuff so that it looks like an article?
So by default, ZimmWriter will generate the text. All right, that's what it does. And then you can go to the options menu and enable HTML output. There's no extra cost for that. It's just an option you configure, or you check this box right here, and then you'll get this file right here. All right, with the with what you see right here. It won't insert the images into the HTML file, and there's really not a lot of use for that because, if you were to put this on your website, it wouldn't work that way, So it will spit out the images into the folder over here, but now it will automatically insert those images if you're, writing the actual article and having it upload, like right here, ZimmWriter, pick an article. It did the whole thing. I didn't have to do anything. It did the article. It did the images. It uploaded it all to WordPress. Didn't have to touch anything. So if you're uploading it to WordPress, it will do everything for you. But if you're just uploading it to or if you just generate it as an HTML file, then no, it won't put the images inside of the HTML file.
Okay.
So in terms of odd use cases, I mean, I don't really know of what everybody's using it for. All right, I know a lot of people are using it for blogs. A lot of people are using it for images. One person today, a good example is they own a flower shop, and they're using ZimmWriter to generate bulk images of the flowers that they make at the shop. All right, you can definitely do that. I'm personally using it. Let's see if I can swipe over to my Mac. I'm using it to generate headshots. Here's just, and I have a course on making headshots. You can load custom LoRa's. I don't know if you know what a LoRa is, but it's like a model that's been trained on stuff that you fed it, like some headshots of yourself, and you can load those LoRa's inside of ZimmWriter and create your own headshots. So here's, I always have to pass these by my wife and be like, does this look like me? So I'm on a beach. Actually, I don't know where this is, but I want to go there. I'm in China apparently.
Laura Matt has a very exciting life.
Yes. Yeah. Well, so I kid you not, I was generating all of these images. And again, I'm making a course. That's why I'm making sure that, these can be high quality. And these would be YouTube shots, for a YouTube video. I was kind of getting jealous at my Laura. I'm like, man, he's going all over the place. He's in the Bahamas. He's at this fancy dinner or something. I'm like, man, I'm kind of bummed. But so I was getting jealous of my digital avatar. But to be honest, I was like, that style, I like that style on me. So from a clothing standpoint, I can stop the share right now if that's what you'd like. But I'm learning oh yeah, those would be some good clothes I could wear. I'd like that.
There's a guy I work with at work. He does that. And I said, man, you always look great. How do you do that? And he says, yeah, I got an AI that tells me. I just point it at my closet and it puts stuff together. It's genius.
Yes.
Right. All right. Well, I think that's been really great demonstration. Do so. It's how much a month again? How much is the subscription?
It's $24.97 a month, and then you can get yearly for $247, which is like I think 30% off or something along those lines. So a lot of people do the yearly just to save some money. But yeah, it's you go if you compare it to like if all you want to do is generate like one or two articles, you don't need ZimmWriter. You don't need to learn how to use ZimmWriter. You can just use ChatGPT. But all right, you're gonna have to go and copy and paste that article into whatever platform you're using, and you're going to have to generate those images, and they're going to have to be relevant to the article, and you have to size those correctly, and you'll have to create your own links and stuff like that. So ZimmWriter makes it very, very easy because it does all of that stuff for you. Right. And a lot of people, there's agency owners that use it. There's solopreneurs that use it. There's people on Fiverr that use it. So there's a lot of different, there's people that don't even use it for writing blog posts. They just write it for generating bulk images that you can't do that. You can't generate bulk images any other way. From what I know. I mean, there's other ways to do it, like if you install Comfy UI and you do that locally, but I don't know a lot of easy ways to generate bulk image. So a lot of people are just using it for that. But yeah, $25, $24.97 or $247 a year.
And I saw like on your dashboard there's like a secret training thing or something like that. Is that you have like pre-recorded training or what's that?
Yeah, so if you go to my site and you click on, I call it secret training because no one clicked on it when I called it help. So people are like, oh, secret training, it must be something. No, so a lot of the stuff on my site is ways to dial down the support requests, right? Because I'm a solopreneur. I have no one. I have a Facebook moderator, but that's it. I code ZimmWriter myself, and I do it part-time. So I have nobody else. And so, like, what can I do to share how to use ZimmWriter with my subscribers and dial down the support requests? So secret training, they go there, and there's a link to a YouTube playlist with 24 different episodes, bite-sized episodes on how to use ZimmWriter. And there's also, if you go to my sales page, a link to the 3 different courses on YouTube. One's 10 hours, one's 8 hours, one's 6 hours. And you can take them at your leisure and basically learn everything. And not only do you become good at using ZimmWriter, but you become good at building a website. Like, we're using all these different plugins. We're building a website from scratch. A lot of people don't know how to do that. I've seen a lot of websites that, I don't know, they don't look very good, to be perfectly honest. I don't claim to be like a professional designer by any means whatsoever, but I can design something that looks good. And that's what we did in those courses. And again, those are free, and they'll walk you through using ZimmWriter also. So that's another way to learn about how to use ZimmWriter.
Yeah, it's got an active Facebook group community. So if you ask a question there, you'll good chance to get your questions answered, and the multiple ways of answering it.
Yeah. Or just reach out to me at a contact form although the contact form on my webpage is mainly for support requests. Hey, there's something wrong. It's not working. How do I cancel? Yada, yada. If you really want help, I prefer, because I don't want to spread myself too thin. If you have a question, ask it publicly, and then I can answer it publicly, and then everybody can learn. That's the best way. I want to help more people with the time that I have.
You do like an open Google Meet thing. I noticed that every once in a while you post something and say like, yeah, for the next whatever in any hours I'm going to be online. Is that like a normal, or just like for this window of time?
So there's someone called Casey Keith in our group, and Casey has been such a phenomenal superstar of the group, because Casey always has these free Google Meets, and I don't pay him anything. He has his own course that he promotes, and it's really good. It's highly recommended. But he helps out with Casey helps out with ZimmWriter questions, and so that's always good. I don't have those kind of things, but occasionally I would have like a live YouTube thing going on. I'd say, okay, we got a live stream, come bring all your questions, and I just sit there for a couple hours answering questions. So I haven't done that recently. I should probably do that again, but it all takes time.
So you mentioned you got another brand you're working on, and you mentioned, or is there anything on the roadmap that like folks that are looking at this might be aware of, some new features or anything like that, or improvements that might be good for them to be aware of?
Yeah. So, in terms of features and stuff like that, I always have updates coming out. I have an update coming out this week that's going to introduce more functionality with using LoRa's and image generation and things like that. So there's always new features coming out. What am I going to release in 6 months? I have no idea. I build stuff that I need, and then also stuff that everybody else is asking for. In terms of my other brand, I have a brand called GetPrompted.ai, and I'm trying to build myself as a prompting like guru, so to speak, and teach prompting, newsletter, YouTube channel, courses, and all that, the whole shebang. So trying to get that off the ground and running. So that should be fun. There's not much I have a course right now, but it's in the process of being updated. There's not a lot to check out. You can go to my site, getprompted.ai, and check that out. But my main stuff is on either my Ranking Tactics brand site, or you can just go to ZimmWriter.com.
Okay. Awesome. Well, I want to thank you for agreeing to do this. I think it's going to be really informative for our Vibe Code Circle, anybody else that stumbles on it on YouTube. I think it's really sort of interesting that you've sort of carved a niche here, and really you're teaching something that I think is going to be a fundamental skill for most humans, going forward into the future, is learning how to do this and learning how to make your prompting as well. It's going to be a core skill. So thank you for showing up today and telling us about your ZimmWriter tool. Awesome work. We're fans, and I hope you have a great evening.
Thanks for having me, Trevor. I really appreciate it, and wish you the best. And I'll talk to you later.
All right, sounds good.